Good morning, everybody. This is Aryan Kumar Singh. I hope I'm audible properly. And today I'll explain you or I'll present you my demo website E2E testing project. So what this project basically holds is there is a application under test, laymanly called as website. And what I'm gonna do is I will test this application if it is working fine or not. So first of all, let me explain you some concepts. The first concept is software testing. So what is software testing? Software testing is the act of checking whether software satisfies expectations. So it basically means I'm testing the software, if it is working or not, if the icons are visible properly or not, if the pop-ups are appearing or not, if I will be able to scroll through the application or not. So all these basic testing works are called software testing. So software is, you can say, a loose translation of a website plus application, and the act of testing it is called software testing. So, and basically there are two methods of testing a software. The first method is manual testing. Manual testing, first let's see what Wikipedia or the whole internet says about manual testing. Compare with test automation, manual testing is the process of manually testing software for defects. So as I told, if what software testing is, testing an application or a website. If I am doing that specific task manually, means if I am manually checking if the books are visible or not, if the logos are properly visible or not, if all the items are properly visible or not, if the JavaScripts or you can say all the CSS are properly placed or not. So all I'm basically checking the layman stuffs of a website, if a website is properly viewable and functional or not. If I am performing this task manually, I'm documenting this task manually, and I'm reporting all my works manually. Everything is being done manual. If it is so, then it can be termed as manual testing. The other fastest method of software testing is automation testing. In the internet, it is called as test automation. So test automation is the use of software separate from the software being tested to control the execution of tests and the comparison of actual outcomes with expected outcomes. Although it's not visible, but I learned the definition. So what test automation does, in this method of software testing, we typically use automations softwares like Cypress, Selenium, Playwright, and with the help of those softwares, we test these type of applications. It's kind of like first we manually tested all the website and all its functionality, and in the second or third time we are automating our task with automation softwares. So how the software basically runs and operates, you have to study software testing in a deep, but all in all you can know this from a high level view. With the help of advanced softwares like Cypress, Selenium, we can automate our task of testing a web application. This is a bottom line you can remember about test automation. So inside this project I was given an application under test. Basically, I was given a website, demowebshop.tricentis.com. This is website. And I performed manual testing plus automation testing inside this website. So first hands first, I prepared the test plan. In order to test any website, we first know how we are going to perform testing, what are the functionalities that we'll be testing on, and what high-level test operations should look like. We first, it's kind of like as a mechanical engineer, before delving to make a car, you kind of make a blueprint in your mind what my car will look like. So it's kind of like that, a blueprint of all my test operations. Test plan, my project name is demo web shop website, and then the footer contains the owner of it, that is I, Abhijit Kumar Singh, and here is the table of contents. If we move on to the first section, introduction, the aim of this document is to give an overview of testing approach, strategies and scope for the Nika web application. So I had renamed, or you can say I put a fictional name of this application, Nika, somewhere, not everywhere. And that's because demo web shop seems a very unattractive name for me. So what I've done is some parts of my whole project, I refer to my demo web shop as Nika. So this document includes details like scope of the project, objectives, test schedule, and resource allocations, test deliverables, and reports. Here I define my primary objective of testing, that is to ensure the functionalities of product page like products, visibility, add to cart, checkout, and navigation. These are some of the key functionalities that I perform my testing on. So it's like if the cart is properly working or not, if the product pages are properly visible or not, if by adding some products in my website, I will be able to properly check out or not, the payment system and all this stuff. Testable features, here I mentioned in detail what parts of my website I am performing testing on. So first one is the home page, which you have seen here. The second one is browsing and filtering, which basically means if I am be able to properly browse this page or not, if I can filter all the projects based on my search results or not. The third one is product details. If the product details are properly mentioned, cart management, checkout, user account, responsiveness and layout. This responsiveness means whether my website is properly visible across devices of varying screen resolutions like laptop, tablet, mobile, computer. This testing approach, the testing type is functional here. We are only checking for the functionality if the website is properly functional or not. We are not checking here for security. If the website is secure or not, it's out of the scope of this project. We are only testing for functional. Operating system, basic informations about my gears, that is which tools I'll be using and my operating system, browser, etc. Responsibilities, here I have assigned myself a fictional role, that is test lead or engineer, and some key functionalities are listed here which I performed throughout my testing operation. Test schedule, it's kind of actually I conducted this test throughout a 4 or 5 duration time from 1 date to 5 date. So it's kind of like a 5-day test operation project, you can say. So in each day I've done something. For example, at first day I prepared the test plan. In the second day I prepared the test scenario. In the third day, case creation, case execution, followed by summary report at the last. Test deliverables, here I mentioned what all the documents I will be fictionally submitting to my senior developer after performing the whole operation. The first one goes test plan, which is this. I'm explaining it here. The second one is test cases and scenario, then bug report, followed by summary report and all. Actually, I listed all these deliverables inside here, and I will one by one explain all of it. So this is the end of my test plan. This is all what I have planned at the starting of my project, that how will I conduct my test operation. Now moving on to phase 2. Then I started preparing test cases and scenario. Let's wait to open. Demo webshop test scenarios and cases. At first page, I defined all the scenarios I will be performing my test on. So it is basically a list of all the functionalities, or you can say parts of my website. So it's kind of like what are parts of human? If I ask you, you will say hand, ear, nose, eyes, legs, stomach. So it's kind of like it. A website is a very broad and long term, right? So what if I ask you what all things a website contains? So you can say as homepage, product browsing and filtering functionality, product details, cart management, checkout, user account. So these are all can be termed as a part of website. So when we say we are performing a test on the website, we are not allowed to move somewhere of our liking. Okay, if I am wanting to perform a test on books, I will move on to books. If someone is willing to perform his test on gift cards, he will move on to gift cards. It's not like that. We first segregate all the functionalities, and then one by one we perform our test. All the testers should first go for homepage navigation, then product browsing, then product details. It is you can say as a functionality driven testing. So the first page lists all the functionalities of the website that I will be performing my test on. From second page onwards, I expanded each and every functionality and wrote approximate of 6 to 7 test cases on it. So first, moving on homepage navigation. Before performing any test, we first have to document it. What all the testing operations we are performing on homepage navigation should come here. So if I tell you a number, I had performed a total of 6 test cases on homepage of this website. The first one follows validate header links navigation. So here at the first test case, I validated if the header links are properly navigable or not. So these are headers, and you can see in the lower left corner of the screen, the target URL is coming. So when I hover on login, you can see the URL /login is appearing, shopping cart /cart is appearing. So I'm basically testing this, if it is properly visible or not. So let's say I hovered on register, and instead of /register, it appeared /click. So it would be wrong, no? Because I am looking for /register sub URL, but what the website is telling is /click or something else. So in that case, I will mark my this test case as fail. But since all the headers contains a correct link, I haven't marked this as failed. I marked this as passed. This is a tabular description of the test case, like steps, click on each header link, test data, nothing, because we are not putting any input here. Expected results, the user should be redirected to the correct section page, and the actual result came same. So that's why I marked my test case pass. Although I haven't shown it, but if you will click, you will be redirected to proper targeted URL. You can see /register, and when I click login, /login appeared. So I performed it, and since it got passed successfully, I marked it as pass. In this way, I define all the test cases for navigation, homepage navigation, validate search bar with partial matching input, and validate footer links navigation. So all these test cases was performed by me, and the result was accordingly updated. So here, whatever test cases I wrote, all the 6 test cases, my website has perfectly standed out. So you can't see any failed test case here. It means all the 6 test cases got passed by this website. Now, moving on to another scenario, product browsing and filtering. Just like homepage navigation, I defined another 6 test cases, this time for product browsing and filtering. If, for example, you can see a validate display of product categories if all the product categories are visible or not. So you can see by your naked eyes too, books, computers, electronics, all the categories are visible. So that's why this test case got passed, and the second test case got failed, and that's why I must need to explain it here. Validate display of product subcategories. What this test case means is uh, I am validating the display of product subcategories. So it's like when I click electronics, sorry, when I hover on electronics, camera, photo, and cell phones appear. When I hover on apparel and shoes, nothing got appeared. You're noticing? When I hovered on electronics, something got appeared, but when I hovered on this, nothing appeared. When I hovered on this, nothing appeared. When I hover on this, nothing appeared. So only electronics or computers, very selected items, is able to give some subcategories. So that's why this test case got failed, because not all the products are appearing their relevant subcategories. So it is a bug. So that's why I marked this as failed. Books and apparel stores are the main ones. I told it. So in this fashion, whatever test case you can imagine of related to a single functionality, you will write it down here. You will perform the test manually and update the result accordingly. If it got passed, it will be marked as passed. If it got failed, it will be marked as failed. And if it is something which you are having trouble deciding whether to mark it as failed or passed, it should be gone as conditional pass. So I have to explain this to here. So validate combination of multiple filters. So that what I've done here is inside the search bar, let's say I type laptop. uh, every search bar contains an advanced search and applying a lot of filters inside the search. So what I have observed while performing this test case was pricing filter is working well while brand isn't. So what this test case tells you is to apply multiple combination of filters and see if the search bar is working well or not. Whereas I applied multiple combinations, in some cases it worked well, in some cases it won't. So what was the special case I mentioned? I mentioned here one key test case where it can be turned as conditional past, and it was pricing filter is working well while brand not. So when I was applying brand based filter, it is not working well, but when I applied pricing based filter, it worked well. So that's why I marked this as conditional pass. It means I'm having trouble deciding it whether this test case is passed or failed, and I am basically leaving this test case up onto the senior developers and testers. They will decide if it is passed or failed. In this way, I have listed all the functionalities, performed all the test cases, and updated the results accordingly. So there are, I think, 7 to 8 scenarios in the whole website over which I have performed my testing on. Yeah, it is 7. And a total cumulative test case of 42 I have written, given 6 per scenario. So this is all you can say as my testing operation which I have done in this website. And this test cases scenario is one of the main seeds across my whole project to be referenced of if I talk about testing my demo web shop. So now, moving on to the third deliverable, that is bug report. So after I performed all my test cases, which whatever I have imagined of, that specific test cases which got failed, I have to report in. I have reported those test cases inside this bug report. So it is not a bug report. You can say it as a collection of bug reports. So here, 3 of the whole test cases we got failed. I reported it inside my Google Sheets. The first one is browsing, unable to display product categories, which I have seen, I think, which I've shown you, I think. So inside, it is the title, browsing, unable to display products. Basically, that specific test case which got failed, I described those test cases here in a very elaborated manner. So here is the bug ID, bug overview, environment, bug details. Inside detail tabs, I had defined steps to reproduce that bug, expected result, actual result. Some information has been taken as a reference from previous test cases and scenario sheet. So this is sheet is basically explaining the detailed information about that specific bug occurred and any comments I have to tell. The report 2, the second bug I found is filtering, unable to display products as per brand. This too I've shown just a moment ago. The summary, throwing no products found exception when applying any brand-based filter. I have attached the screenshots, the URL where these specific bugs occurred, the steps to reproduce, and any comments I have to make. In the similar fashion, the third bug which I found is cart inside the cart functionality. It is unable to remove products from the cart. We can add whatever products we want inside the cart, but we can't be able to remove even a single product. This is a bug, as you know, we know, and we all know a cart functions as a addable and subtractable bucket. We should be able to add product and we should be able to remove that product. But here the cart is working 50%. We can be able to add product, but we can't remove products inside. So and here is the URL, screenshots, and other thing. So these 3 key bugs I reported here inside the bug report. Now moving on to another, that is my last summary report. Inside my summary report, I have summarized all my projects in a paragraph form. I don't know why it is not opening here. It is taking some time. So here in the summary report, I explain project name, release version, test manager, and introduction, test objective. It is more like a test plan, but you can find detailed information here because test plan has created before the testing operation, and here I'm creating summary report after the testing operation. So obviously you can find way more detail here as compared to test plan. So all this you can understand by seeing to the table of contents, scope of testing, test approach, test environment, conclusion, and recommendations. So it is a summary of my whole project. You can refer it. And now, after performing all of my manual testing operations, so what I have showed you up until here is called manual testing. So here, manual testing ends, and from here, our automation testing journey begins. This is a mind map which will tell you what all things we have done inside our testing in a flowchart manner. And then here, I automated those tasks which I've done earlier in a manual way. So that I don't have to repeat those things afterwards. So it's kind of like I am automating my tasks using Cypress. Cypress, what is Cypress? Cypress is, I told you, a test automation framework. With the help of Cypress, we can automate it. We can automate all our testing operations which we perform manual. Inside Cypress, I created class, page class, specs, and I applied POM. You can see here as page object model applied here, and I basically used XPath plugin to locate web elements. So it is a, you can say, a normal automation testing plus POM implementation plus BDD implementation. I've also implemented BDD down here. I explain what BDD called is you can say BDD as if you are a non-tech guy, you probably won't be able to read all this stuff because you don't know how to code, right? So in order to make a non-tech understand our works, we have something called BDD, behavior driven development. So inside that BDD, we define all our testing operations done in a very plain English format. And so basically that file is called feature file, and we connect that feature file to this code. So it's kind of like we can read our plain test English format project, and on top of it, if you want to run it, it will be run as usual inside that code file. So we are basically bridging the gap between testers and non-testers using BDD. So this all I have done inside my demo webshop E2E testing project. This whole project is live under this subdomain. I will share this project link in the description and comment section of this video. You can just navigate to this website and see what all things I have done for the sake of my automation plus manual testing project. Thank you so much.